So, something occurred to me regarding this, and I don't think it's worth mentioning yet, but I think there may be more similarities between this batch of people and the last one than we think. Not only is Nagito very similar to Makoto, if not Makoto himself.
Right.
Byakuya is Byakuya.
Right.
Akane has more than a striking resemblance to Asahina.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, what if this is in fact created like a simulation made by Makoto and Byakuya?
Which is humongous if, of course, but...
Yeah. But what if every single person here was based off of someone from the original cast?
Huh.
Except Hajime, because there's 16 students.
Well, there were before, too.
That's true, but the 16th student wasn't really, like, directly involved in everything.
Okay,
except for being the mastermind, but you know what I mean.
I get what you're saying. Well, thinking about that, you know, I keep refusing to assume that this game is after the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was a while where we were collecting evidence that it was before and after, and most of the evidence is after, which is actually why I'm more suspicious that it's not after.
Right.
But if it's before, does that mean that Monokuma is Junko?
Might be Mukuro, if it's before.
Well, no, Junko said that Mukuro couldn't handle it, and that's why...
You're right. Well, if this is a simulation and it is after, it could be a virtual Junko, using that logic.
Right, but I was only talking about if it was before.
Yeah.
Oh no,
yeah.
I know what you're saying. Oh, I guess we have been recording. Well, we may as well keep all that, because it was actually kind of interesting, huh?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Hey, no, wait, I said I wasn't going to talk about it.
Well, I guess we don't have to think of an intro now, do we? Let's just jump right back in.
We're the Bittersweet Gamers.
Oh yeah, I'm the Opinionator.
And I'm We Squared.
Thank you very, very much to everyone who provided us with an explanation of Rebuttal Showdown. It's not hard to do,
but the tutorial was horrible!
They didn't explain it! Even the tutorial guy was like, well, whoever did this tutorial needs to take a long walk off a short pier. Now, it's interesting
and we agree.
Yeah, it's interesting to do the meta thing, but don't do that! So, thank you again. We should have it now.
Definitely? But why?
Because of the goggles that was in the case, that was in the Duralumin, that was in the... I don't know where I'm going with this.
Well, you really jumped right back in, too.
Byakuya had with him during the party.
I mean, yeah.
We found a smaller case for storing the night vision goggles.
And it was open, my God!
Which means we can assume that the night vision goggles were kept inside that Duralumin case as well.
I really like how she said that.
I like how she's like concentrating and like focusing and like picking up thought waves with her antenna.
There's just lots of layers to Ibuki so far. I still don't entirely know how to take her, but I mean, how can you not like her?
I like her so much that at this point I probably wouldn't care about all the metal interface.
Yeah, I'd be alright with it too.
And that's because I'm a very cuddly kind of guy and I don't want to stab my face when I'm trying to get intimate with my girl.
You heard it here first, folks, because you all needed to hear that.
Woohoo! I said assume. Ibuki never uses such clever language.
Oh, I really want to be playing this game in Japanese right now so I can laugh at it.
Plus, Byakuya was the only one who could have taken the night vision goggles out of the case.
Because of his key.
Since he was carrying it around before the blackout in the first place.
I see. When you put it like that, it makes sense.
Ha! Mahiru, you thought you were clever and stuff, but that's what I'm here for.
Was that knife inside the case too?
No, I think it's great that she actually jumped in to take care of that basic premise because first off, that needed to be taken care of. The point isn't to prove person A right or wrong.
Oh, I know.
The point is to all come together. So it's like, this is all contributing.
Yeah. These guys are contributing a whole lot more than the previous batch.
Yeah, everybody is doing stuff in the trial even.
Yeah.
Instead of the way it was kind of before where everyone was like, but I thought that the sky was blue. I mean, it was...
Kyoko's a ghost! We need to spend a non-stop debating that.
Well, eventually it got past that. It was just the first trial. Everyone was just picking their nose and trying to avoid responsibility, if I remember it correctly.
I think so.
If there were night vision goggles inside, it wouldn't be weird for a knife to be in there too.
No, they were in the other case.
It would be weird.
I am weird, aren't I? At times like this, I'd rather be fantasizing about tonight's main dish.
He's standing next to you, Pecco.
Oh, God.
Ew! You totally perverted way.
Of course he does! That's a safe bet! 50% pervert, 50% cook! The knife was brought in the Duralumin case along with the night vision goggles too? No, that's completely wrong. No, that's not possible. The knife was hidden in the dining hall before the party even started. I should be able to prove it.
With tonight's main dish!
You are, of course, correct. Maybe the Duralumin kit, it was the duct tape.
I see.
Quack, quack.
No, duct.
There was duct tape left under the table where the body was found.
It glowed in the dark. How did any of you miss that?
That part's important.
Duct tape? They probably hid the knife by duct taping it to the underside of the table.
Because it was also on the handle.
I'm still really interested in what you had pointed out that I'd never thought of about the tablecloth being lifted.
Yeah.
Like somebody had to, presumably Nagito, he was right there. Because it wasn't Hajime, who was also right there. Like, somebody had to have lifted the tablecloth to get Byakuya's attention.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bright enough that it would shine through the tablecloth.
Probably.
Wasn't it?
Maybe. That might be it.
Oh, so that's why we found duct tape there.
There, and on the knife handle.
There has to be a
Byakuya
reason.
was thorough. Even he couldn't have noticed a weapon taped to the underside of the table.
That's true.
This may be off topic, but why was Byakuya acting so paranoid?
Ooh! We have evidence for that!
Not only did he bring a self-defense kit, but he had night vision goggles inside the case too.
And that is quite an extensive self-defense kit, too.
I don't know why he wasn't carrying around the taser, but it wouldn't have done him any good.
Maybe as a show of faith to everyone else, showing he wasn't armed?
I suppose so. I mean, considering the letter, Byakuya's actions make more sense.
Yeah.
But they're also still foolish because it was a setup for his own death.
He probably didn't tell anyone because he didn't want to tip off the killer? It's pretty clear that the killer's the one who sent it. But, like, he didn't want to cause a panic. He didn't want everyone to start instantly suspecting everyone again. He was trying to get everyone in a place...
Again, they never did in the first place.
You're right. He didn't want them to start suspecting people, period.
I think that he actually should have taken that letter and gotten everybody together and been like, what the hell is this?
Oh, I agree with you. I'm just trying to explain his reasoning.
I mean,
That's true. He went above and beyond being a little cautious.
Oh, okay, when he said that's true, I thought he was agreeing with my...
You have to understand that men know men.
I'll kill you.
Now that you mention it, that applies to the dangerous items he confiscated as well.
What?
It's one thing to be a little cautious, but performing a body check is a bit much.
He probably knew someone was planning to commit a murder.
I'm just going to out this so you have no choice but to show it to everyone.
Why shouldn't you, though? This has to come up.
I know.
Are you saying he predicted the murder? Could it be? Was he also in possession of the all-seeing eye?
He's Byakuya. He does not possess the Byakugan.
You just keep making eye jokes, don't you?
Well, that was also a ninja joke. Gundam's got the ninja scarf.
You think so too, right, Hajime?
That doesn't make every joke that Byakuya says a ninja joke.
No, it was Gundam's. I'll just stop. That's right. Byakuya probably knew there was a possibility that a murder could occur.
Probably he did on account of this letter that says it. I don't know. We still have 2 minutes to look through them.
Everyone, can you please take a look at this?
Be careful. The first kill will happen tonight. Someone will definitely kill someone.
Hey, the hell is this?
It's a letter. I just read it to you.
Hajime and I found this in Byakuya's cottage.
It looks like a threatening letter someone sent to him.
So, who's the someone?
Well, if we knew that, we wouldn't need a trial, now would we, Akane?
Billy speaks the truth.
Nobody besides Monokuma would write such a dumb, threatening letter like that.
Is Hiyoko saying that she trusts the people around her?
She's acting really on top of things, and I'm starting to like her because of how she's acting, and she's kind of holding back a little on the hostility. I mean, she's still berating people, but she's also taking this seriously, you know?
I agree with all of that, and I'm also afraid. What I have to say in return is that in the first game, I think I spent an entire episode lambasting Byakuya. And by the end,
he was like your favorite character.
just about, yeah. Darn it!
No!
Not
I refuse to like Hiyoko! You can't make me!
Wasn't me.
Ha!
Are you sure?
That is pretty funny.
The only lies I tell are friendly lies.
Do you believe me?
No.
Those are still lies.
Yeah. This is the only time I'm going to agree with Motomi.
Doesn't matter who wrote it yet. So, Byakuya became paranoid because of this threatening letter?
And that's what would have made him go so far to get the knife underneath the table, because he was so determined to keep everyone safe.
He probably decided to throw a party because of the letter.
What do you mean?
What we just said.
Yeah, duh,
By
man.
gathering everyone in one place, he tried to create a situation where everyone could keep tabs on each other. In doing so, he tried to put the writer of the letter in a situation where they couldn't act.
But I was too smart for him. What was that, Nagito? Nothing.
But the letter might have been just a little prank.
If you weren't in this exact situation, I would believe that, Teru, but you're not.
As long as he was determined not to let any of us die, he couldn't take that risk.
Although, in the situation they were in, it does seem a little strange that he wouldn't have someone with Peko, with Teru, or with, like, Chiaki outside guarding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Allowing someone to isolate themselves.
That was
not
also...
only-
That was a very obvious bad decision.
I mean, that is like a third of the people there.
His strong sense of responsibility made him believe the letter was legitimate.
He should have told us he received a threat.
Yes!
Yeah! Yes!
Communication!
If he had, we would have panicked. Byakuya probably knew that too.
So, he tried to do something about it without telling anyone?
You face it head on and then you defeat it.
You face it as a group, even if he has accepted the responsibility of being the leader.
If you try to prevent people from panicking by withholding information from them, that means that you were saying eventually they'll get the information and eventually they'll panic. But what you should do is focus on everybody getting that, not out of their system, but overcoming that so they won't panic anymore.
Yes, I fully agree. And also, doesn't it kind of say, like, he thinks kind of a little lowly of them, that he thinks that they would all just completely fall apart at the idea of that, considering how strong they've all been up till this point. I mean, Kazuichi and Teru freaking out, yeah, I mean, come on, that's what they do. But it's like, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to say anything bad about Byakuya, but doesn't that kind of...
Well, that's consistent with Byakuya, too. Looking down on people.
Yeah, just...
I see. Strong sense of responsibility as our leader was his undoing.
It's almost like the killer really knew him and was familiar with his personality and traits.
What
I'm just saying.
Screw that noise. Who the hell wrote that letter?
Well,
Yeah, that's the right
obviously,
attitude.
The killer.
Yeah, that's what we need to figure out. The killer. Is it really one of us? Who is it? Among us, who's the one who killed Byakuya?
Well, it's what we're here to find out. Though, again, my suspicions are Nagito.
I kind of agree with you. I mean, just until we find out more information, specifically how Gundam got his earring back. I think that's going to be a big key as to where the entry point is.
I can't... Well, yeah, you're right.
Enough already! Show yourself, you coward!
Agreed, Gundam!
They were willing to come forward. They never would have committed a murder in the first place.
That kind of defeats the whole point, Gundam. Come on. But I still can't believe it. Someone in this room killed Byakuya. There's no way I can believe that yet.
There's nobody else here except for Monokuma and Usami.
Pardon me. Can I say something, please?
Please?
Yeah.
What is it, Miss Sonia?
I'll follow you anywhere, Miss Sonia.
I regret that I must return to this topic, but I just realized something concerning the night vision goggles. If Byakuya was indeed wearing those goggles, how did the killer manage to navigate in the dark?
That's a really good question.
Well, you know, we had been concerned about that as well. For instance, when it came to Ibuki's account, you know, we were wondering if maybe, like, the foot stepping, like Hiyoko getting stepped on would have been Nagito.
Yeah. It's possible that they used if they were underneath the floorboard and stabbed him, as we suspect, and he grabbed the knife, they'd have a pretty good idea about his general location, don't you think?
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
You're right. They wouldn't have been able to see anything without the night
Which is why they have to maneuver him where they need him to be.
Yes!
Because they're not going to be able to see in the dark.
Right.
But if the murderer had the goggles when they took the knife, then how did Byakuya see them?
Even if the knife bore some sort of mark, it would have been difficult to see it in that dark.
I do like how they're addressing it from both sides here.
And I just like how there isn't someone who's just like, screw it, it's this person, just murder them, or like...
Yeah, that was...
I'm liking how there's not much Yasuhiro-ing going on.
Trials are bullcrap!
No, the killer definitely used a mark. And because of this mark, the killer was able to get the knife from under the table into his hands.
The mark...
Glowing paint!
The mark was Byakuya Togami.
That's correct! It was the tablecloth! It was the party dishes! It was...
God, stop that!
Okay.
Stop it! Good God!
What if the glowing paint was the mark? With that, you'd be able to get the knife even in the dark. In actuality, the knife we found under the table and the duct tape stuck to the underside of the table were both marked with glowing paint.
Alright, I thought that there was like some tape left on the knife that was glowing.
Well, I thought it was residue from when it was taped.
But it's paint on the tape.
Does that mean the killer painted them in advance?
And now here we're going to establish that this was all set up ahead of time.
Painting them
Well,
with
eventually.
glowing paint?
Yeah.
It's as if they knew the blackout was going to
Yeah,
happen.
because they planned it. My gosh.
They had to have already known. That's why they used the glowing paint as a mark.
Right!
Which means whoever set up the blackout is the killer.
Spot on, everyone!
That seals it. The killer is whoever was in the office with the circuit breaker. Which means it was you, Peko Pekoyama!
I like the tongue-out accusation.
Peko killed poor Byakuya? Was this island not big enough for 2 glasses worth?
Well, we had thought this too.
Yeah, we've already found out that the blackout was caused by a bunch of stuff being turned off.
Yeah, not hitting the circuit breaker.
Yeah, if anything,
Plus,
she's the
Peko
one
was
who-
in the bathroom.
That too.
I am not the killer. Oh, I guess she's not.
Well, she isn't!
Maybe Akane just has some primal instinct to know when someone's lying or not.
Maybe she does!
How can you believe her so easily?
But with Peko's height, I don't think she'd be able to reach the circuit breaker in the office.
She can stand on the case and hit it with her sword.
I don't care about a technicality like that. Peko's the one who tripped the breaker and caused the blackout.
What were you saying about Yasuhiro?
I know, I was just about to say that. I was just like, and of course, the minute I say, oh man, no Yasuhiroing, the spirit of Yasuhiro inhabits Kazuichi Soda. By tripping the breaker directly in the office, Peko was the one who caused the blackout. Is that really what happened?
After this debate, blue-colored weak spots will start appearing. What does that mean?
Oh!
If we call the weak spots you've seen up until now argue spots, the blue-colored weak spots will be called agree spots.
Oh!
So you have to do that to change the flow of the debate, I guess? When shooting agree spots with truth bullets, you need to flip your way of thinking. You have to hit the agree spots with a bullet too. So it's like the blue one, okay, so it just adds another way that you can move through an argument.
Yeah.
Instead of arguing that the other person's testimony contains lies or mistakes, please fire the truth bullets that prove the other person's testimony is correct. When your truth bullets merge with their weakness, it will become a logically sound agreement. Isn't it a little hot in here?
I don't want to talk to you, narrator.
I feel like I'm being threatened. From now on, you must infer whether it's best to argue or agree based on what's being debated.
I see.
I really like that.
Yeah.
It's a logical evolution of the mechanics to make it less stale.
Yeah, to evolve
Not that it was, not that it was stale before, but it just evolved.
But they had to add something to it. in the sequel.
Okay, we better immediately look to make sure we understand what they are. Nekomaru was poop. Teru Teru is I was in the kitchen.
Since Peko was in the office,
It was the furnace won't
she
come
could
on.
have caused
The
the
stove.
blackout at any time.
What's the other one?
That's impossible.
Chiaki? Okay.
Huh? Why is it impossible?
Because I was not in the office. Not even before the blackout.
What happened to your guard duty?
I mean, it should be that one with Nekomaru's,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, you weren't in the office?
I can't wait till the white noise comes back. This gets pretty fun
Clearly
then.
a desperate excuse.
Just from listening to Peko's testimony, it's not weird to doubt her. But I feel like I spoke to someone during the investigation who totally backs up her testimony.
I got a shit! Time to establish the poop timeline. Let's go!
Why is it?
Because I was not even before the blackout.
No poop.
I
What?
agree with that.
Oh, okay. Right.
I agree with that!
Because it wasn't an argument, it didn't break. That's why I panicked.
Because it fired forward.
Yeah.
Peko is telling the truth.
Don't tell me you're crushing on Peko.
Dude, is this all you think about is girls?
I don't see a problem with that.
Both the teenagers!
It's nothing like that at all. Nekomaru's account is actually Peko's alibi.
Look, you can think about this all you want, just not right now. That's all I'm getting at.
This is a matter of life or death, not a matter of the birds and the bees. I've been trying to use it many times, but the door just won't open at all.
It's true. Someone was occupying the bathroom for a long time shortly after the party started.
Yeah, man, you sound all super calm about it now, but everybody remembers what you were like back then.
Shit!
And it was finally freed up after Byakuya's body was discovered.
Then the person who was in the bathroom that whole time was actually...
Don't look at me.
Everyone else besides Peko was in the dining hall after the party started, right?
Correct.
My discipline has failed me.
I see. So there's no way anybody else could have locked themselves in the bathroom except Peko.
I guess that would be true.
She just doesn't want to talk about it or admit it or acknowledge it in any way.
He really
Locked
doesn't.
yourself in the commode? You should have said so earlier.
Yeah, nobody would
There's
have.
no way she'd actually say that. Gosh, you are so insensitive.
Like I said before, okay? Girls poop, and you need to be able to admit it, especially when the situation is life or death.
No, that's not true. You're lying.
I know it's hard to accept, Kazuichi, but you can't turn away from the truth.
Yes, I can. You just watch me.
She locked herself in the bathroom for that long? There's no... Shit.
Okay. I have to get this out of my system.
Do you need to poop too?
I opened myself up to that. Never mind. That was way better than what I was gonna say.
Oh, there's no way she'd admit it. There's no way she'd admit she was taking a shit.
And that stupid, incredulous laugh. I feel like becoming more juvenile. Let's make more poop jokes.
Let's not, please.
Hey, weren't you guys taught any basic manners? Or were you raised in a locker room?
Kind of, yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. How about we stop talking about this and move on to something else?
Your alibi's established. It's fine. Let's go on.
I just like that as she was talking, it panned over to Kazuichi, and he's just kind of like, girls poop?
Don't worry. The smell wasn't that strong. I used the bathroom right after you, so you can trust me.
Man, I'll tell you what, Nekomaru, he sure knows how to make girls feel better when they're sensitive and kind of embarrassed about things.
He's trying, in the only way he knows how.
Point taken.
I said it's fine.
But still, you were in the bathroom for a really long time. Did you get food poisoning or something?
Why do we have to keep talking about this? Be nice to her, okay?
Are you kidding? This is probably one of the only times she's going to get a chance to say something about Peko that'll affect her. She's like a wild predator. She has to strike when there's a weakness.
As soon as I stepped into the office, I felt this sudden rush of pain in my stomach. Because of that, I was unable to leave the bathroom, including when the blackout occurred.
Gee, was that planned? Because, you know, she should have the highest combat power out of anybody here.
Yeah, but why? Why make sure she's in the bathroom? So she couldn't easily turn on the circuit breaker. Because she could just stand on the case and flip it.
Because she was supposed to be in the room with the circuit breaker, so she could have. But then she would have been able to trip the breaker, and that would have turned everything back on.
But the only way the killer would have known that is if they had known that someone was going to raise the objection about guarding the case, and he knew that Byakuya was going to pick Peko.
The food was already there.
She did take a plate with her.
Yeah.
So, I'm just saying that would have had to have been some kind of last-minute thing, unless the killer really knew everything in advance, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, how did it feel to do your business in the dark? Did you get excited?
Does Teru Teru actually have every single fetish? Like all of them?
He's got fetishphilia.
A fetish.
A fetish.
Seriously, stop it.
We only need to talk about important things, Teru Teru. It is important to me.
We're talking about shit!
He can talk about shit. Why can't I talk about women?
But still, your stomach pain. Was that really just a coincidence?
Ah! Fuyuhiko coming in with the observation.
Hey, what's the deal? Don't butt into other people's business, especially if you didn't do any investigating.
And she's defensive about it.
I'm only butting in because you fucking idiots are out of your element.
Plus, this is his business. If you guys get it wrong...
He dies!
Unless he's the killer. Which, there's no way he's the killer.
He can't be the killer. We've already established that in the trial.
Stop this childish nonsense. Just what do you mean by coincidence?
What I mean is it possible someone slipped her some laxatives?
Right.
It could only have been Nagito or Teru Teru.
Yeah.
It could not have been anyone else.
With her personality, there's no way she wouldn't notice someone screwing with her food, right?
Hold on now. Well, I say Teru Teru because Teru Teru had access to the food.
But how would he know which food she would take?
The other two people who ate didn't get sick.
Yeah.
So I just don't remember the exact circumstances of her being handed the plate.
I think Nagito recommended she take some food with her. But unless...
No, I don't think so. But he might have. He might have. Just that's a detail I don't recall.
Me either.
Laxatives?
We know what they are. We don't need you to explain the medicine.
I'm sorry, somebody drank a laxative.
If so, the killer could have tripped the breaker as soon as that girl left the office, don't you think?
I see. That might have happened.
I think, he's sort of right. Not trip the breaker, but had to have it happen before the time of 11:30.
Mm-hmm. And Akane's just agreeing with everything.
Well, she can't, contribute on her own, so instead, she's acting like she's following along.
The question is whether Peko's stomachache was a coincidence, or if someone intentionally caused it. Depending on the answer, the outcome of this trial could change drastically.
I really like it. Again, not only is everybody actually contributing in an intelligent way. I mean, we're laughing about Akane, but that counts too. That's fine. She is doing something no one else is doing, so at least she's being a distinct character in the trial, which is kind of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's more complicated. This is the first trial, and there's like a lot of different layers and a lot of new information that we have to get. Mm-hmm. I just appreciate it. This is me giving you a compliment, and if you don't like it, then what?
Okay.
Knife, AC timer, night vision, embarrassing pose, and party dishes? You better look at the party dishes right away.
Did you?
Akane and Peko were the only ones who ate them. Even though you can clearly see a picture of Chiyoko with a plate full of food.
Chiyoko?
Right, I don't know where I was going with that one.
Yeah, can you look at the embarrassing pose?
Oh, I'll look at embarrassing pose anytime you want, Damon.
I don't remember eating anything weird.
Now that you mention it...
I mean, it should be party dishes, whatever the thing is going to be.
You brought food to the office, right?
just a little bit from the dining hall.
There might have been some laxatives in it, don't you think?
Taro cooked the food. How suspicious!
Pointing!
I wouldn't do anything like that.
I bet he wouldn't. Not to food.
Yeah.
Laxatives would ruin the taste.
Okay, so ruin the taste, and what was the other one?
Put laxatives in it.
Yeah, laxatives and ruin the taste.
Okay, so the laxatives is probably true.
Well, somebody probably did.
So it would have to be ruin the taste that's false.
But
Because
how would
Akane
anything...
ate it, so we can just ask Akane.
Well, what does that have to do with ruin the taste?
We could ask her if it tasted funny.
Is that how it works?
I can't see how anything else would fit, though.
Well, couldn't you say the same thing from the other one? You hit the laxatives with it, and then you ask Akane if she had an effect?
I suppose you're right.
I guess materially she didn't, though, but that means that that means that there were no laxatives then.
That means that there were no laxatives with the
anyway,
main food. But remember, we're saying there was only laxatives in what Peko ate.
Well, we're not actually saying that yet, though.
Well, yeah, I guess we're not.
The thing is I can see it either way. It's this one on one of the two.
Yeah, I want to go with ruin the taste.
It's fine.
I wouldn't do anything like that. Laxatives would ruin the taste.
Okay!
There might have been some laxatives in it, don't you think?
Oh,
Okay.
I was right again!
Well, I'm the one plagued, so every bit of damage to us is my fault.
No! It's impossible that laxatives were slipped into the food in the dining hall. Because Pekka wasn't the only one who ate that food. Akane ate some of it too.
If the food had laxatives in it, I'm pretty sure Akane would have had stomach issues as well.
Well,
Unless she's just that physically superior.
This is one of those issues where it's like we don't know how seriously to take the game.
Yeah,
Like maybe Akane is a super beast girl with a fighting aura who doesn't get affected by laxatives because she's like a wild, raised into wilderness type, or she's not, and it's just, of course everybody's going to be affected by laxatives. I mean, I was supposed to believe that you could fall down a trash chute and land on your head and survive because you're lucky. So I don't see why you couldn't apply that same logic to anything else. But okay, I'm done.
I feel totally fine.
Like I said, the dishes are innocent. Don't go making weird accusations.
So we were right. The laxatives must have been, if there were laxatives, must have been added after specifically to Peko. So that's why focusing on the laxatives was important.
I apologize for causing a scene.
Fuyuhiko should apologize, not you. He's the one who made the laxative accusation.
We just keep focusing on her poop, don't we?
We don't need to apologize to each other in the trial, though I, again, think it's interesting that Mahiru is trying to keep that up.
Yeah.
What the fuck did you say, bitch?
Don't point at me!
And the thing is it's so easy to just ignore him when he's like this, because...
Like, it sounds like just a dog barking.
Yeah, it's like
his bark's bigger than his bite.
He has to be like this, and he doesn't actually appear to be a bad guy, so it's just like you let that go in one ear and out the other.
Cease this bickering. Let's just dismiss Peko's stomachache as a coincidence.
Don't think we should.
And go back to discussing the blackout.
Although it could be.
Yeah. We already know that, you trashy skank. You don't have to tell us.
I do like how Mikan tried to stop an argument from occurring. No conflict.
Yeah.
Trashy skank?
I'm sorry, I'm a trashy skank. Do you want me to take off my clothes for you?
Yes. No! As long as the murder happened during the blackout, then the blackout itself is what's actually important. So we need to make it clear how that blackout occurred.
I suppose this will be AC timer.
Oh, it could be irons. I think it's irons in the storage room.
It's not Chiaki or Nekomaru. What was the other one?
Who tripped the breaker and how did they do
Storage
it?
room tablecloth and Nekomaru's territory's
I'm
account.
gonna bop you on the head.
Yeah, so it's the irons.
Throw a stone and hit it?
Okay, not that.
Ah, no, it
Maybe
could be.
they used a remote control?
We have to think of it the other way, dang.
They probably messed with the breaker.
That! Oh, well, no.
No, that's an agree
It
point.
does not have to be the breaker. They may have tampered with
This.
the power supply and
Oh,
transmitters.
hell.
Or maybe they caused a power
There!
surge.
That's it.
Yeah.
I bet it's really Monokuma's fault.
I really like this.
Not a trashy skank.
Yeah! Of
Can I
course.
agree with that statement?
Of course you're not. Do you want me to give you my money?
How did the killer trip the circuit breaker?
I really like that, how it's just a whole bunch of agree points and you gotta pick the right one. It's not like a 50% shot like last time.
Yeah.
Which again, I was right on.
How's about you shut your face?
Or maybe they caused a power surge?
Boom!
I agree with that.
I agree with that!
It's just as Mahiru said. The blackout was caused by a power surge.
I keep freaking out every time I don't see it break. I just have to get used to it. No, I understand.
But it fires forward and it doesn't have, like, the wrong effect.
Of course, that's not a coincidence. Someone caused it intentionally.
Oh, I like that.
I like how he delivered that line. But are you saying that every time you fail, it makes you freak out?
No, it's just, we've played Dangan 1 so long that anytime I don't see the point I'm trying to argue break, I'm just sort of inclined to be like, I did it wrong, even though I did it right.
But that's not really freaking out, is it?
I guess not.
Which is why those 3 irons were arranged to cause the blackout.
Also other things.
When you found them right after the blackout, the irons were still on, right?
So by leaving those irons on in the storage room, they deliberately caused a power surge.
Yeah, it seems that's how the killer caused the blackout.
Just like Hyoko's just doing that, like, idiot look towards him.
Stupid fool!
Uh-oh!
I do like these, okay.
Let me speak too.
So, what are you gonna do, Billy?
I'm going to attack every argument.
Very good, and you know you have focus if you need a moment to figure out how to attack, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And you know that the one skill we have equipped is for focus, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, very good.
What the heck?
You say the irons in the storage room were used to trigger the blackout?
Also, these are gonna be surprising every time, which is the point. That's cool. That's really cool.
That's inexcusable!
But...
What's he talking about, though?
Well, it's gonna be the AC timer.
Yeah.
Which is already on.
The irons in the storage room caused the blackout. And for the killer to turn the irons on, you're saying they went all the way to the storage room? Then that means everyone who was in when the blackout occurred can't be a suspect.
Piff.
No, just because people were in the dining hall doesn't mean they're not a suspect.
Yeah.
But the people in the dining hall weren't able to. If the irons, then the killer had to go to the storage room and
That was
turn
me.
on the iron.
Well, you know, it makes you want to do
intend
it.
To take back what you said. Weren't able to. If the irons, then the
Oh,
killer
God damn it.
had to go to the storage room. If the irons caused the blackout.
Allow me to cut through those words.
Allow me to cut through those words.
The irons are just one reason the blackout occurred, but they weren't the direct trigger.
Okay, like, what is it that he says? Something like, Sono koroba o kirinuku, I guess? Kirinukuzo, kirinukeru.
Everything I learned about Japanese, I learned through watching anime. So.
I'm really curious. Let me know. Thank you.
The direct trigger was when the air conditioners in the dining hall and office clicked on.
I mean, otherwise, it would have cut when the irons turned on.
Air conditioners!
I know you were very distracted during the party, Nekomaru, but trust me.
The timers for both air conditioners were set to 11:30 p.m.
You know, the juice was the irons, and then this was the...
What overloaded it?
Yeah.
11:30 p.m. Mr. Ham-Hands died around that time, too!
I see. When the timers activated the air conditioners, the breaker was tripped and caused a blackout.
And now everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I see. I understand. Indubitably.
Indubitably. Indubitably. Indubitably.
Indubitably.
They probably checked the old building's energy usage in advance and used the irons to nearly max it out.
Almost like they had a lot of time with the old building to prepare.
What are you talking about? Who's like that?
I don't know, man. I think it's Ibuki. What?
So once they set the air conditioners' timers, they just had to wait until they started up on their own.
If so, even if Pekka was in the office, it still would have been possible to cause a blackout, indubitably.
Yes.
Indubitably!
Indubitably!
Indubitably? Miss Sonia, not you too.
Why are you offended by indubitably?
I'm a mechanic. I like to deal with simple words.
Like dubitable?
Indubitably indeed.
Regarding the energy usage, they probably asked Monokuma about it. Dun dun dun!
Uh-huh.
Is she right? Such a hateful bear! You deserve to die 1,000 deaths!
That seems kind of strange coming from Usami.
But she's right, though.
No, she is right, but normally she's not all like, "Arr, violence, kill."
Only against Monokuma.
That's fair. That's fair.
By the way, I like how Monomi's role in the trial is to hang from the ceiling and occasionally be seen in the background when the camera pans around, and to say things like this. It's pretty good.
1,000, you say? If I died that many times, I might really stay dead, you know?
Well, then let's get on it!
Thunder break!
Shut up! You guys just stay quiet!
Yes! That's right! You tell him, Mahiru!
I couldn't have prevented the blackout even if I was in the office. Even so, I feel regret. If I was in the office, I could have reset the breaker in time. And maybe the murder wouldn't have occurred.
Yeah.
No, the breaker in the office was built into a high area of the wall that's impossible to reach.
Unless you are Peko Pekoyama, god dang it!
Resetting the breaker in that darkness would have been impossible, no matter what.
Okay, that might have been really... I could kind of believe that from the darkness angle.
That doesn't appear to be an important point, though.
Sounds like you don't need to blame yourself.
Even so, the killer is so sly. I'm starting to worry we may never actually find them.
I like how the ends of her hair are kind of wavering.
Frazzled.
Too.
It's alright. You don't have to worry.
Uh-huh.
Because they're just a petty killer, right? They can't defeat symbols of hope like you guys.
You don't say. There's nothing suspicious about this at all.
Everything you say just makes us more suspicious of you, Nagito.
The thing is I would totally be able to take him at his word on this and really believe it if it weren't for the fact that he's already trying to prove that no student could have done it, which is a position that only benefits the killer.
Yes! Wait.
There's no way everybody will lose now. This little incident will just be a stepping stone for you all.
This just makes me think about what I was saying with it being like turn all suspicion levels to the maximum if at the end of the first trial our returning characters are gone. Like, okay, I totally don't buy that anything happened to either of them.
Yeah.
Or at least Senor Suspicion Face here.
Senor Suspicion Face. A stepping stone for you all.
In the end, hope always wins. That's what I believe.
And the way his voice actor is talking!
I was about to say that same thing. In the end, hope always wins. I mean, come on.
Nagito? What happened to you?
By the way, in the first Danganronpa, I started out the very first time I heard, what's his name? Bryce Papenbrook? Something like that. The very first time I heard him as Makoto, I was like, ugh, hideous, repulsive. And I thought it was terrible. But eventually he actually really grew on me.
Mm-hmm.
And hearing him as Nagito, which, I caught it like that, because it's not like he hides it. He just has a bit more of a deeper voice.
Yeah.
But, anyway, he's actually really good. I'm really impressed by him. Compliment over.
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, you have been saying this whole time that there's no way a killer could be among us.
Oh, is that so? Well, let's just put that minor detail aside for now and talk about the incident.
So this is in every way exactly as suspicious as like a perfect baseball pitch hitting the incinerator switch. Like, oh, there is literally only one person that could have done that. You are freaking kidding me. This is so obvious in the music that they're playing.
Oh. Maybe he didn't poison Nekomaru's food. Maybe he's just lucky.
There is that, isn't there?
For now, we found out how the blackout occurred. But the question is, who caused it, right?
You! It was you! That's why you wouldn't let us in the storage room, or we'd notice the irons.
Everything points to him.
Anybody could have hid and set the timers for the air conditioners.
And
that's right.
Setting up the irons in the storage room could have been done before Byakuya set foot in the old building.
I do like how there have been several times this episode that we have both tried to make the exact same observation at the exact same time. That's pretty excellent.
What a shame. Any one of us is capable of that.
Well, not really.
If he's talking like this, is he trying to out himself deliberately?
I think he is, because he specifically said it was before Byakuya showed up.
By the way, this normally is not something I would ever bother saying. But I feel, under the circumstances, that I have to say this.
Uh-huh.
I have to pee! So...
We'll be right back. So, Damon, was it everything you dreamed?
It's fine. How about we stop talking about this and move on to something else?
What are you implying?
He's just saying, after all this time, we still haven't made any progress.
No, we've made a lot of progress.
But Nagito is, of course, trying to do something. We're not quite sure.
Huh? Even though we have been arguing for so long?
Unfortunately, it's the truth.
What is he doing? He's just putting, like red suspicion flag and waving it above his head even mightierly.
Before.
Mightilier.
I like that.
More mightilier than Byakuya was doing with the death flag.
Despite the fact that we've discussed this at length, there's not even one clue that leads to the killer.
I hope.
But that might be because there's no way any of us could be a killer.
Or it's rather that he does hope that everyone will peg him. Because that's part of his plan.
Yeah.
You know, like, to get Junko out of our face so we don't think about Junko anymore.
Yeah.
Like, the sudden death of not Makoto is just going to make me be like, you're the mastermind by default. Well, right?
Yeah, no, entirely.
You're changing your story again?
Anyway, I have an idea about what we all should do at this point.
Is it to vote for no one?
Has anyone thought about our situation like this? Instead of surviving by doubting others, isn't it better to get killed for believing in others?
No! That is...
Oh my god!
This is like trying to sacrifice yourself for something else, a greater cause. Except instead of that cause being an individual, like sacrificing yourself to save someone else, who would not call that a noble thing?
Right.
Okay, dying for some cause you believe in, well, not, 50 to 70% of people might actually say, no, that's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
But, it's way more respectable than dying for nothing.
Yeah.
Okay? But, I mean, I'm not so sure that's necessarily right, but that's the sort of decision that only you can make.
Yeah.
But he's not trying to get everybody killed, assuming he was being serious and there's nothing funny going on, which are ifs that I don't even accept. Then he would be sacrificing himself and others, not to save a person, not for a cause, but just to massage his own worldview.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm going to die to force my way of thinking on others to prove in the end that I was right and they were wrong. And
that sounds like something the mastermind would do.
Well, I think that is so very, very wrong. And having had more time to think about it, I think that expresses more of what I feel about like Monomi and more of why I despise that.
Yeah. Something we didn't consider when we started talking about all this, like in the very beginning, what if Makoto was changed by all of that?
I just have such a hard time believing that could be the case.
Me too, but I feel like we should keep it as a possibility.
Well, he wasn't the ultimate hope, then was he? After the way that Danganronpa ended, I cannot accept that would happen.
I agree with you. I just wanted to toss that out there as a possible.
Doesn't that mean... Are you saying we should all just give up and die?
just like Persona 5, very good game. You just said what I did, but in a much more concise and pithy way.
Nagito, there's definitely something wrong with you.
Yes.
You guys only think there's something wrong with me because there's something wrong with you.
Because the way all of you are thinking is so wrong. But if this isn't convincing somebody...
Yeah!
Suspecting each other like this. There's no way that's healthy behavior.
He's really creeping me out with the way he talks.
Let's stop this already. We don't have to find out who the killer is. I can't stand this anymore. I don't want to do this to my friends.
I don't want to do this either.
And see, this sort of argument is only appealing to somebody who's extremely weak.
But
I'm not saying you have to...
Teru, decided that he has to face this.
Did he? Look, in the first game, it wasn't until the very end of the game when Yasuhiro was like, no, I've had enough. I want to live.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like, him doing this is the opposite of what you said.
It's the first game in reverse.
Me too. Please, take me home already.
Because it would be easier to just give up.
Yeah.
I want to go home and eat candy.
She's just messing around.
Yeah, of course she is. I don't believe that for a second.
Stop it. If everyone acts like this, I'm gonna...
Everyone calm down.
It's like suicide movies for teenagers. Every time some big media comes out featuring suicide, it spikes search rankings for suicide and actually causes additional suicide.
Yeah.
Based on analyzing the numbers. Miserable.
We're all friends, aren't we? There's no way one friend would murder another.
I mean, this is even more brazen than anybody in the first game. In the first game, everybody, when they got caught, they were just like, fine, it's true. It's true. This is what happened. And I mean, most of the time...
They resisted with the stupid, but...
Sure, but I mean, after you eventually shut him down, then he was like, yeah, okay, it was me. This though, is...
Isn't he kind of talking the way Monokuma does? Like the manner of speaking he's doing? That's kind of what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Then why did Byakuya die?
Who cares? Let's just give up already.
We all care.
There are no clues that lead to the killer anyway. Not a single one.
That's wrong.
Yes!
She really is the Kyoko.
Did you say something?
Oh!
Huh.
Cause we've already found a clue that might point to who the killer is.
A clue, you say?
You're the one with it!
You know who the killer is?
The killer? I don't know. But we do have a clue about a suspicious person. I think.
So is she doing that, like pulling up her hood because she's not very confident? Which is... Or it's like... It's like she's asserting herself, but then she's like,
It might be a
and with
subconscious
an eye
defense
thing.
because everyone's focusing on her.
Yeah.
I see. Then care to tell me, what's this clue you're talking about?
First of all, let's try thinking about how the killer was able to obtain the knife during the blackout.
And Chiaki has also been mostly quiet during the entire trial thus far.
Yeah.
Didn't we already cover that? They use glowing paint as a mark.
No, not that. I mean before that.
Because it wasn't missing from the kitchen list.
Right. Also, the autopsy. The knife wasn't the murder weapon.
Right. Before? Is she asking how the killer got close to that table? That has a lamp thing on it? Even if they had to obtain the knife by relying on the glow from the paint, in order to do that, they needed to get close to that table while it was still dark.
They could the cord.
Put
their hand on the cord and then follow the cord to the lamp.
Because the outlet was right next to the controls where Nagito was standing.
And they've always shown that cord so strongly that where even when the very first time we saw it, I was like, hey, you notice that cord?
Let's try examining the situation. Mahiru's diagram might be useful here.
The diagram of where everyone was standing before the blackout, right? Here it is.
Now we're just going to project this and assume everyone is looking at it as opposed to like handing it around to everyone.
Ah, don't worry about those details.
Just as I thought, this diagram is the clue.
The consumer of this media is the player, after all.
I know. Who the killer is and how they were able to move to the table in the dark. That's clearly shown in this diagram. First, we need to discuss how the killer was able to move to that table in the dark.
You know, I don't think we have a truth bullet that says anything about the lamp.
It might be something where I have to point at something
Maybe.
and then choose it. The killer probably used something to help them move in the dark. Yep.
How Phoenix right? No, the cord. Well, you know what? You might be right. We know it's going to be either the lamp or the cord at the bottom right.
Here! The killer must have used the desk lamp to move to that table in the dark.
The desk lamp? I hope you don't mean they turned on a light or something.
Oh, Byakuya, your fate has always been intertwined with the cords of desk lamps.
There was a blackout. There's no way the killer could have used the desk lamp.
Of course, there's no way that they used the desk lamp's light. The killer actually used the weight of the desk lamp! The power
I can
cord.
prove it with this. They didn't turn the desk lamp on. They used its power cord.
The power cord?
Yeah, you know, like on a guitar, like, ah!
I like how you called it a guitar.
They could have felt their way to that table using the power cord, right?
What are you, a 69-year-old man?
Sometimes I feel that way. Get off my lawn.
By doing that, the killer was able to move to the table, then use the glowing paint to find the knife.
And there's only one person here who could have done that.
You're right! It was you, Chiaki! Completely not inside the building!
Oh my god, what a twist! I'm still thinking it was Fuyuhiko.
Who?
The only person here who could have possibly done it.
Accused the killer.
You're the only one! Nagito, it was you, wasn't it?
Me?
Judging from everyone's positions before the blackout, the only person near the power cord was you.
Which means the only one who could have felt their way to the table using the power cord was Nagito!
That's just a coincidence.
You don't sound too sure of yourself, buddy.
And you might have gotten away with it too if it weren't for those pesky photographers.
But still, you had a chance, right? A chance to hide the knife under the table?
And here's where he's going to use the autopsy to prove it wasn't the knife that killed him. Nagito's chance to hide the knife under the table was when he was cleaning, obviously.
I see! Nagito, weren't you cleaning the dining hall all morning? If so, you would have had a chance to hide the knife.
That's...
And set up everything.
Yeah.
If you factor in the power cord and the time you spent cleaning, you're the only one who could have done it.
Seriously! That's all just a coincidence!
If it was just one coincidence, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
But when it's one right after another...
Occam's razor. That was the right one, right?
Yes, it
was. Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure.
I wonder, is something like that even possible?
Well, maybe for Makoto, but...
Yeah!
Could it be? Did you give yourself cleaning duty on purpose so you could hide the knife under the table?
And set up the power outage and everything else.
Now that you mention it, Nagito did prepare the drawing to pick who cleaned the dining hall.
To be honest, I already prepared a drawing because I assumed something like this would happen.
To go to the trouble of preparing this, just what did you think would happen?
Whoever draws the chopstick with the red mark on it that I'm totally holding and have my finger on and know exactly where it is will be in charge of cleaning, okay? Does that sound fair? I mean, I'm not going to make you guys do anything.
That's how you got picked to clean the dining hall, isn't it?
I I don't know if you're the killer or not, but regardless, it proves that you're suspicious, right?
Like, you have to at least admit to that.
This has to be dealt with, yeah.
If that's the case, that strange speech you made earlier was part of your plan, too.
You got us to lower our guard and tried to hide the fact that you did it, didn't you, you motherfucker?
Well, just admit it already.
Yeah, even Mahiru's harassing you now.
Nagito, tell me you object to this. Frankly, I don't want to believe it either. We investigated together. You were so kind. I can't believe you're the one who killed Byakuya.
Man, poor Hajime. Poor everyone, really, but...
Nagito, say something.
Haha. Nice crazy face there, bro.
Whoa! Oh!
So, those are the same swirly despair eyes that Junko had.
Yeah.
The Ultimates are working together to combat the despair of their friend's death!
This is such a freaking setup! This is so on purpose!
In which case, I must commend his acting chops.
It could go either way.
Yeah.
How wonderful! How beautiful it is!
It's because of how the first one ended. He's acting like Junko.
Well, I mean, that's what we're supposed to draw the parallel with, but that may not be the case in terms of it in actuality.
Right.
Huh?
Those eyes. At that moment, Nagito's eyes.
And everybody who played the first one, which should be everybody.
Or at least watched us play it. I don't know.
Yeah. But anybody who played the first game would see those eyes and understand the connection.
Yeah. The darkness in his eyes shone brightly, as if layers upon layers of darkness were folding into each other. As if hope and despair had been crudely mixed together.
Let's cut to the chase. You're correct. It was my doing all along.
Oh, okay.
He didn't.
I'm the one who hid the knife under the table before the party started.
So what's going to happen is he said it was my doing. He didn't say he killed him. Because we still have to get there.
Yeah.
I'm the one who used the power cord to find my way to the table in the dark. And of course, I'm the one who caused the blackout.
But he's not. But he's going to say that he's not the one who killed him to make sure that the Ultimates can all continue to work together to achieve whatever his goal is. So I think to prove that he was actually the one who killed him. That's what we have all the rest of the evidence to do. But this is also going to bring up the circumstance of us having to try and know that he attempted to do it, but have to admit that maybe he wasn't the killer, even though he tried to.
Yeah.
That's the thing that would strain everybody the worst, is knowing that somebody there attempted. The only reason it didn't turn out so bad in the first game when that happened, when like basically everybody tried to kill Sakura.
Right.
The only reason it didn't turn out so well then is Sakura used that trial as a reset button for the whole thing. And it worked.
Yeah.
And it actually worked, so.
After all, there's no way I'd knowingly whip out a knife in front of everyone, right?
Is it just me, or does he seem a little nuts right now?
Not just you.
But I never expected Byakuya to have night vision goggles. Because of that, we had ourselves a little scuffle under the table. And, well, you all saw how that played out.
Ah.
But with a twist ending like this, I think we can all agree this ended up being a very interesting mystery.
Okay. What if he merely presented the capability for someone to kill Byakuya?
I understand what you're saying. That's kind of why I brought up the you have to deal with the fact that this guy is here and attempted to murder somebody but didn't. You have to put up with that. But I still don't think he's telling the truth.
Oh, me either.
We have to go through the rest of the evidence, and we can't believe anything that he says.
Yeah.
Byakuya performed admirably.
And I believe he's telling the truth. After all, Byakuya is also part of the suspicious stuff.
Just stop it already! Seriously! What the hell happened to you?
Don't tell me. Is this your true nature? Were you lying to us this entire time?
Me? Lie? That's outrageous. There's no way someone like me could ever lie to you guys.
This brings up the part in Danganronpa 1 where if you don't lie, you can't advance.
Yeah!
Parallels it, I suppose, is what I was looking for.
I understand better than anyone else that I'm ultimately worthless. I'm too arrogant to have dreams or cling to hope. I'm too disdainful to actually try at anything.
Huh.
This is the thing. I mean, I guess something terrible could have happened to him, but that wasn't the note the first game ended on.
Right?
Though the way that I'm looking at it, Byakuya being a responsible guy who claims the mantle of leadership and wants to save everybody, and Makoto being wrecked, like, that could be plausible, but I think that's like the plot twisty switcheroo thing, because especially by this coming up in the beginning. Also, that still doesn't deal with the fact that you don't go through high school twice. Where's the lie? Who was lying when?
Yeah.
I still don't buy, because I'm just expecting the switcheroo. I'm still not prepared to accept that this is after. Now, I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm not prepared to accept that without something else.
I've made peace with the fact that I'm a lowly, stupid, insignificant human who can't do anything right.
Because if it was after the first game, and he still had his memories, say, which that's another if. But didn't Monokuma already say that's not happening this time around?
Yeah.
Although we don't have our memories, I guess. Remember, the motive was to give all our memories back. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's no way that the Makoto from the first game would say this.
Right. No, I agree with you.
Holy crap! He's totally the type of guy who spent his childhood killing neighborhood pets!
No, that's Hyoko.
He seems like the sort of person whose eyes light up while watching Friday the 13th. Just like me.
Oh, she's a horror fan too.
That's quite the hobby you have there. But, now's not really the time to bring it up.
Well, if someone gets chopped to death by a maniac wearing a hockey mask, we know who to suspect.
Meanwhile, Kazuichi is like, all right, now I know what movies to prepare.
This guy, is he the real Nagito?
Is the real Nagito a fake Makoto? Or is a fake Makoto the real Nagito? Wouldn't the real Nagito definitionally be a fake Nagito?
My brain!